All right, so go ahead and find a posture that works for meditation, something that is alert yet relaxed. And we're going to explore a way to work with bridging some of the more embodied or somatic practices to a classical shamatha or kama biting practice. That's what we're going to explore for about 10 or so minutes, maybe 15 at the most. And so if you're in a chair, I recommend, allowing your spine to be somewhat alert yet relaxed. If you're sitting cross-legged, putting something under you so you can feel comfortable for about 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're sitting in a chair, just allowing the feet to be flat on the floor. This is going to come into our meditation a little bit. And we're just going to start our practice there. If you want to start with your eyes closed, it's fine. I'm going to invite you to open them at some point. But if you want to start with them open, that's fine too. That's what I'm going to do. And just allowing a sense of your feet and the floor below you to start to come into your consciousness, into your awareness. So if you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, this might be all of the space that's touching the floor. So your knees, your legs, your seat. And if we're in a chair, just bring your attention to the feet. A good point to start with when we're starting to grow somatic awareness is just the point where the feet or the sensation on the skin and muscles meet the floor. Of course, this extends out to your toes, sides of your feet, back of your feet, and just take a moment to explore those areas, exploring the sides, exploring the back, the front. Just the raw sensation, the physical sensation in the feet. And see if you can connect with both feet at the same time. There's sort of this magic that happens to us every day that we don't notice normally. And when we meditate, we can start to notice it, which is, how can we even pay attention to both feet at the same time? It's kind of a little bit of a magic trick. It's kind of an amazing feat of mind, right? Where we can create this space between the feet, in the feet, around the feet, where we're allowing presence, where we're allowing a sense of awareness and feeling. Now, when you have more time, you can go through the whole body, like we're going to go through with the feet, but we're just going to spend a bit of time in the feet. And if you're sitting cross-legged, I guess in the legs or whatever parts of the body are connected to the ground. The idea here is to stay in one place, but to explore it in a deeper way. So we started with just the sensation of the feet connected to the ground, and now becoming aware of the sides of the feet, the tops, the back, the front. See if you can start to create a three-dimensional space of felt awareness within and around the feet. And just let go if I recommend letting go if you're not sure if you're doing it right. Just do it. Try your best. Just assume whatever you're doing is right. That's a nice way to just relax if we're doing it right or wrong. Doing it right means actually just putting some energy into it as best you can. In my book, that's what it means in this case. As you're exploring different areas of the feet, maybe you want to explore the left side of the left foot, the right side of the right foot. Then moving inwards to the inner sides of the feet, the backs. And then we're going to go all the way into the center of the feet. What this means is that space that you can't necessarily feel as a physical sensation, but you can become aware of. This is the space that actually pervades our whole body. And when we do things like handshaking practice, we also learn to be aware of those inner spaces. So this would be both feet at the same time, just experiencing yourself as the feet, inside of the feet. Maybe we can think of it as where the bones sit, inside of the bones. And just do your best to be present with that. There's not going to necessarily be a physical sensation. And of course, we're still feeling the physical sensation of the feet connected to the ground below us, the sides of the feet, etc. But inside of the feet, you're not necessarily going to have a physical sensation, but we can be present of that. And notice how spacious it feels. Try to connect with that space. Perhaps for some of you, it's a little more open. It's a little more spacious. There's not necessarily a large and small. There's just the space within the feet. And just try your best to stay with that, to be that space. We'll do this silently for just another minute before we expand the practice. Now, hopefully you've had a few minutes to connect with the spacious element inside of the feet. It's connected, it's not disembodied, it's felt, but also it's hard to describe a sense of big or small, direction. And so as we continue to connect with that, we're going to allow that to expand like we're blowing up a balloon or like a bubble that's getting larger and larger. So we're going to expand that through the body now, up through the legs, of course, including the front, back, sides of our body as we move up, but see if you can stay inside of the body, in that core space that has a little bit less form, a little bit more openness. We're going to expand up our legs into our seat. Again, just trying your best. When the thought comes in that says, is this what it's supposed to be? Am I doing it right? Just gently coach this thought. I'm doing it. I'm trying my best. And that's what the practice is. From the seat, we scope into our main trunk of our body, into our lower abdomen. And here, hopefully, you can really start to connect with a lot more space. One way to do this in a felt way is also to track from the sides, front and back of the abdomen, go inwards. So it's like from the sides, you go inwards. From the front, you go inwards. From the back, you go inwards. And you just inhabit that space. Same as you move into the mid-body, up into the chest. And this is all including what came before too. So don't lose track of your feet. It includes that, like a bubble getting larger. Same as we move into our upper chest, shoulders, arms, fingers. Into our neck and throat. Finally, into our head, in the center of our head where our brain sits, just allowing a sense of this pervasive space. It's felt, but it also lacks large or small, distinct sides, distinct front and back, just inner space, felt inner space. And if you are struggling to do this as a whole with the body, just now remember the whole body and see if you can connect with the space in the entire body. And without leaving the body, we start to allow a connection to the space around us. That space is meeting us. We don't have to meet it, it meets us. And at this point, if you want to open the eyes, this is a good time to do it. I know this can be challenging for some. So when we open the eyes, we just let the eyes rest in space, like we're allowing the body to rest in space. And there's a sense of nowness. There's a sense of presence. And we just be that presence. We just let ourselves be that nowness. This is a little bit of a different way to enter shamatha without support, our open awareness practice. We simply become that space now. That's part of nowness. That's less defined. And we just allow everything to happen within it, not blocking our sense of sight, not blocking our sense of smell, taste, touch, not blocking what we hear, just allowing things to move through this space of nowness, and we're being the nowness. Of course, we're going to become distracted from that nowness, so we just recognize when we've lost a sense of awareness and we come back. As soon as we recognize we're lost, we're actually back in awareness. We don't have to push too hard. In a way, we can kind of sit in this space like we're sitting in a comfortable chair we like. And one key to this kind of practice is doing it in very short periods. Maybe in a longer period, you have 10 or 15 shorter periods. We're just going to do this for 2 more minutes, just resting as awareness. So there is a subtle or light maintenance here, maintenance of nowness, but also we need to make sure we're at ease. There's a large aspect of this practice that's just resting with nowness. Very light maintenance, not too heavy, but also we're not just completely off and unaware. We need to maintain awareness here. Awareness just being a sense of watchfulness and nowness, sense of just resting in non-distraction. Just before we close the practice, if you'd like, you could always come back into the feet if that felt really good to you, if that felt grounding. It's kind of one way to come in and out of some of our awareness practices. Usually for me, when I include the body, it really helps, as there's a sense of groundedness that happens. The lung, the wind energy can settle. Therefore, the meditation can actually be more at ease. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your practice.